Welcome to CognitionChunks. This information is for entertainment only. I am not trained in philosophy. Is this useful? Is this nonsense? Join me as I attempt to learn from GPT. Here is Eureka! Epochs. Understanding the Origins of Philosophy by GPT. Part 4. Philosophy in Transition. Chapter 12. Eastern Philosophies in the Modern Era. Section A. The encounter between Eastern philosophies and Western thought. The encounter between Eastern philosophies and Western thought, particularly from the 19th century onwards, has led to a rich and complex dialogue, characterized by both the exchange and integration of ideas, as well as critical reflections on the differences and similarities between these traditions. This interaction has influenced a wide range of disciplines, including philosophy, psychology, religion, and the arts, fostering a deeper understanding of diverse worldviews and contributing to the development of a more global philosophical discourse. Historical context. Early encounters. Initial contacts between Eastern and Western philosophies occurred through trade routes, conquests, and missionary activities. However, a more systematic engagement began with the European colonization of Asia and the subsequent scholarly interest in Eastern languages, cultures, and thought systems. 19th and 20th centuries. The translation of Eastern texts into Western languages during the 19th century, coupled with the rise of Orientalism and the Theosophical movement, significantly increased Western exposure to Eastern philosophies. Intellectuals, artists, and spiritual seekers in Europe and America began to explore and incorporate Eastern concepts into their work. Major influences and dialogues. Buddhism and Western philosophy. The introduction of Buddhist texts and ideas, particularly those related to mindfulness, impermanence, and the nature of suffering, has influenced Western philosophical, psychological, and therapeutic practices. Notable engagements include Schopenhauer's interest in Buddhist concepts of desire and suffering, and more contemporary dialogues between Buddhism and phenomenology, as well as cognitive science. Hinduism and Transcendentalism. The philosophical and spiritual texts of Hinduism, especially the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, had a profound impact on the Transcendentalist movement in 19th century America. Thinkers like Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau drew on Hindu ideas of the divine within and the interconnectedness of all life to develop their philosophical and ethical positions. Taoism and comparative philosophy. The Taoist texts, particularly the Tao Te Ching and Zhuangzi, have intrigued Western philosophers with their emphasis on harmony, simplicity, and the dynamic balance of opposites. The Taoist concept of Wu Wei, non-action or effortless action, has been explored in various contexts, from environmental ethics to leadership studies. Yoga and Western spirituality. The practice and philosophy of yoga have been integrated into Western spiritual practices, contributing to the growing interest in meditation, mindfulness, and holistic health. The philosophical underpinnings of yoga, as outlined in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, have been the subject of scholarly study and practical application in the West. Challenges and critiques. Orientalism and appropriation. The encounter between Eastern and Western philosophies has not been without controversy. Critics have highlighted issues of Orientalism, where Eastern philosophies are exoticized and misunderstood, and cultural appropriation, where Eastern practices are detached from their cultural and ethical contexts. Philosophical integration and dialogue. Despite challenges, there have been earnest attempts at philosophical integration and dialogue. Comparative philosophy, intercultural philosophy, and initiatives like the Mind and Life dialogues between the Dalai Lama and Western scientists exemplify constructive engagements between Eastern and Western thought. Conclusion. The encounter between Eastern philosophies and Western thought has enriched global intellectual traditions, offering diverse perspectives on fundamental questions about reality, knowledge, ethics, and the nature of the self. While this encounter has been marked by both fascination and critique, it continues to evolve, promising new avenues for philosophical inquiry and intercultural understanding. Thank you for joining us for another Cognition Chunks. Please like and subscribe.